Before we dive into the story, take a moment to subscribe. If you enjoy history, hidden treasures, and the rare stories behind everyday objects, you're in the right place. Now, let's begin. There's something about coins that speaks to a man's soul. Not because they're made of metal, but because they carry stories. They're passed through hands that built nations, paid for bread and bullets, kept secrets, and survived revolutions. And every now and then, a coin comes along that doesn't just tell a story. It becomes one. Today, we're stepping back into the year 1970. The world was changing fast. The Cold War was in full swing. Technology was leaping forward. But in the southern tip of Africa, in a country wrapped in both beauty and conflict, something small was quietly minted into existence. A simple copper coin, no bigger than your thumbnail, bearing the value of 2 cents. Now, you might be thinking, what could possibly make a 2-cent piece special? That's what makes this story so fascinating. Because the value of a coin isn't always in its face. Sometimes, its worth lies in where it's been, who held it, and what it represents. The 1970 South African 2-cent coin was part of a transition era. South Africa had moved to the decimal system just a few years earlier, replacing the old British pounds and shillings. It was a time of national pride for some, unrest for others, but undeniably a moment that shaped the future. This coin came from that period, minted under the apartheid regime, during one of the most complex chapters in South African history. On the reverse, the coin features a majestic king protea, the national flower of South Africa. A bold choice. The protea has long symbolized resilience, transformation, and beauty under pressure. It's a fitting image for a coin minted in a land that was both troubled and magnificent. For many, this small copper piece was just spare change, slipping between pockets and counters. But for those who understand history, it's a marker of a nation's identity, politics, and pain. The obverse side bears the image of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator who founded Cape Town. For many years, his face was synonymous with the establishment of European power in southern Africa. Again, complex history, layered, uncomfortable, and real. This isn't just metal. It's memory. Think back to 1970. You might have been in school, just starting your first job, or maybe you were already raising a family. That same year, a man might have stood at a store counter in Cape Town or Johannesburg, this very coin in hand, buying milk or a newspaper. He never imagined that 5 decades later, someone would be holding that same coin with gloves, magnifying glass in hand, treating it like a lost artifact. Yet here we are, but it's not just about nostalgia. It's about rarity. Because not all coins are created equal. Most of these 2-cent coins were used and abused, tossed in drawers, forgotten in jars, worn thin by the hands of time. But a handful, just a precious few, survived untouched, mint condition, untarnished, preserved like new. And those few, those lucky survivors, are the reason we're here today. Collectors around the world have started turning their eyes toward African coins. The global market, once obsessed with American and European currency, is expanding its appetite. And coins from South Africa, especially during the apartheid era, have become incredibly desirable. Not just for what they are, but for what they represent, moments in time, frozen in copper and bronze. Now let's talk about demand. The older generation, the ones who lived through the 60s and 70s, they're beginning to pass down collections, stories, memories. And younger collectors, investors, even, are hunting for coins that are more than just old. They want coins that stir something. Coins with soul. Coins like the 1972 cents from South Africa. But here's where it gets really interesting. Not all coins are worth money. But when the right conditions align, rarity, condition, history, symbolism, value explodes. Auction houses have seen unexpected spikes in prices for this specific coin, especially versions with perfect surfaces, untouched luster, and sharp edges. Coins that spent their lives not in pockets, but in private drawers, safes, velvet boxes. Some of these pieces have been graded by professionals and sealed in tamper-proof cases. And those, my friend, have reached staggering numbers. Why? Because a coin like this isn't just a piece of copper anymore. It's a story you can hold in your hand. A piece of a past that's never coming back. A relic of a complicated, powerful, unforgettable time. For many older collectors, there's something deeply satisfying in holding one of these coins again. It's not about money. It's about connection. A reminder of youth, of places you've been, of a world that looked very different. And for newer collectors, it's a gateway into a deeper appreciation for history and legacy. What's it worth? That's the question everyone waits. 4.1 of these coins. A 1972 cents from South Africa, in pristine condition, graded and sealed, recently turned heads at an auction. Because of its condition, rarity, and growing international demand, it reached a price no one saw coming. $0.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Not every coin will fetch that. Most won't. But that number represents something powerful. The value we place on memory, on history, on physical pieces of a time long gone. It's not about the copper. It's about what it means that so the next time you see an old coin, don't toss it aside. Hold it. Look at it. Listen to what it's trying to say. You never know. You just might be holding something priceless.